and this nonsense we're doing. Oh shit! Hold on, let me take my hat off.
Get your hat on. So so I was watching Porky's again.
The fuck?
I love that movie.
That's a great transition. I don't think I think I saw Porky's like once when I was like.
Are you
13,
kidding me?
14.
Every time the movie's, I don't know if it's right down there, but there's like a Blu-ray sitting on the floor. It's Porky's. Like I bought that on Amazon. Like
Ben is pointing to a clutter of. I mean, just.
I know.
It's
you understand?
Grand.
Can you understand? There's a mountain of everything.
Can you take a picture of that and put it on the Instagram?
from clothes to tools to boxes. There's just a pile of anything that could be in my room.
Ben
is in a corner, and it's all there because I had to dig through a gazillion things at the last second, panicking to find a fucking 2 separate wires to make one of our things we're doing today work with the soundboard and the computer and all that. So it's kind of one of those fuck it, I'll fix it later kind of deals. And it's literally I have to fix it later because it's too much of a disaster over there.
Can I tell you that I've already seen one thing I almost want to steal.
What?
That world's largest natural gas producer, Koozie. That is fantastic.
Do you know where that came from?
Who? Where?
Out of the blue, our buddy Mark asked me for my address. So he didn't ask me for my address. He had my address because I've been supporting him by buying his soap. He asked me for my T-shirt size. That's right. And so I gave it to him. And like a week later, this package came and it had a T-shirt with his company logo on it. It had a bar of his new flavor soap. It had a sticker, and it had that koozie that says "World's whatever."
That's a fantastic koozie.
Natural gas producer.
Shout out to Mark because that guy's he's as cool as it comes, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and it's just funny because he must have been at like some truck stop and saw that and thought of me. So I'm honored.
He's sitting there with his fiance. He's like, Ben Temples.
Yeah. Yeah, if he bought that in front of her, or if maybe he used me as an excuse.
Listen,
to buy it.
I met her. She's really cool. They really compliment each other.
Okay, well that's great. Nobody knows who we're talking about.
We can't introduce him in the podcast.
We can. I'm as a sponsor. Don't think I'm not going to ask him about that. So I guess he didn't see the Blu-ray over there. It might be buried. But
no. I saw it in the corner there.
But that movie is like, you have to see it again. I'm upset. Like we should just stop, play it, and like talk about it while we're watching it. Because it's like the funniest movie ever. And so there's this scene in it. It's like there's like a 3-scene progression in the movie.
Okay.
And like it's just like builds to a crescendo. There's a scene with Lassie, which is Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City.
Mm-hmm. I know her well.
And she plays like I don't know, is she a teacher? Or I think she's like a cheerleading teacher, coach. And one of the young other coaches hooks up with her upstairs in like the laundry room, the gym laundry room, with all the jocks and socks and underwears and stuff, and like the smell of like dirty men's athletic wear turns her on. So he starts fucking her up there, and they call her Lassie because she howls like a dog when you're fucking her. So you hear it in the basketball gym, and everyone's laughing and cracking up, and the scene's hilarious. And like when that movie came out, I was like 12, 13 years old. Maybe I was younger. Maybe I was 10. I don't even remember. But side note, it was filmed in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you look at the beach and everything, it's unrecognizable. Like Fort Lauderdale has changed so much since.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You can't recognize one landmark, even on the beach.
Yeah.
You don't recognize one landmark. But so that scene's hilarious. And then it immediately goes into the scene where the guys sneak under the building and get behind the wall where the girls are taking showers in the locker room. And there's like 3 little holes that they can see through. And they're watching the girls take showers. And Pee-wee, the little guy, his hole, there's a really fat girl standing in front of it, and he can't see anything. And he finally gets so frustrated, he yells at her to move her fat ass. And the other two are like, oh, shit. And the girls all freak out. But then they don't leave. Then they're fucking with the guys. And the one guy sticks his tongue through one of the holes. They freak out. And then he sticks his dick through it. And he's like wiggling around. He's doing a voice for his dick. Hilarious stuff. Like, hilarious. Right? And then Miss Ballbricker, the big, fat, old religious coach for the girls, sees it, comes in. The girls scamper out when she walks in. Sees it, grabs it, and then the guy can't get away. He finally gets away. But she's got him in like a strangled death hold. His dick through a hole in the wall. So then it cuts to this hilarious scene. It's like 5 minutes long. And it's got her, Miss Ballbricker, talking to the principal. And behind them, in chairs, are the two men's coaches. The one that fucked Lassie and then the older one. No, there's three of them, actually. There's three men's coaches there. And as she's telling the story to the principal, the guys in the background just keep trying not to laugh. They're cracking up because the story of what had just happened is hilarious. And it's hard to explain how funny the scene is, watching three men trying not to laugh and like biting their knuckles and snickering and falling out of the chairs, giggling. I can't explain it, but it's one of the funniest scenes, and it's a progression of three scenes that builds up to it. Yeah. I can watch that scene on a loop. And it's literally just her telling the story to the guy, to the principal. And when she even like says the word penis, he gets a little nervous and like language kind of stuff. And these guys are just snickering and snickering and snickering. And then the one guy like has a suggestion about having a sketch artist come and do a sketch. Have you seen this prick? It's armed and dangerous. And the coach lady is bizarrely suggesting, because the penis had a mole on it, to have 5 boys, but she knows it's Tommy Turner. So if Tommy Turner and 4 other boys, they can wear masks over their head, but we'll do a lineup of their penises, and I'll point it out. These coaches are just like trying not to laugh, but they're in the room and they're like watching those 3 men try not to laugh is the funniest scene I've ever seen in a Hollywood movie. It is fucking hilarious. And I recommend to anyone to watch Porky's, because that movie is like the classic, like early 80s style of like kind of like dick and fart joke humor through the whole thing. But this one, is like one of the pioneers of it, blazed the trail and did such a good job of it. It's such a good movie, and it's short and quick and whatever, but
there's a joke there.
Dude, well, like me. But it just reminded me of that. I watched it again last night, and it was like watching it for the first time. And I must have seen that movie 25 times. Maybe more.
I think I've only seen it once, so I'll have to sit down on Ben Tipple's glowing review.
I wasn't old enough to see Porky's 1 or 2 in the theaters, but I saw Porky's 3 in the theaters. I remember.
Oh my God, there's 3 of them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're all good, but the first one's like like any movie.
It's like American Pie.
Any movie. There's like 4 outliers, but where the sequel was better than the original. But, but usually because the original is so original. Yeah. That the second one is still just copying the quote originality of the first one.
It's very difficult to
We've
recapture.
Had that talk before, but yeah. Such a good movie. Like as far as like that type of movie, all those like ski weekend movies and all this stuff where it was like in the 80s. Yeah. Those comedies with like guys getting drunk and lots of titties flashing and
the Porky started.
Yeah, it was like it was such a. It really was the template for everything going forward with those, the classic 80s. Like raunchy comedies.
God damn. I don't watch a lot of those movies anymore either. I don't have like times. Like I barely have time to catch up on what's out now. Like I used to always go back and watch older movies because I love old movies.
Oh, I thought you meant they don't make new ones like that anymore.
No, I mean they do.
It's a different.
It's different. Yeah, everything's different now. The way we consume media is so different now.
Not only that, but I think you get too much into. I mean, there's always gonna be a marketplace.
Yeah.
For kids, teenagers, young adults trying to get laid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, there's always going to be a marketplace for that because that's so relatable to a continuing generation.
But like, when was the last like generational movie like that? Was there anything is there anything since American Pie?
I mean, yeah, probably just not famously. Probably just not like what's the word I'm looking for? Pop culture. It hasn't become pop culture, like American Pie did, or
like there hasn't
The Hangover isn't really the same type of thing.
No,
but
no.
But you know what I mean.
That's for the 40 over crowd,
right? But there's movies that go along those genres. That goes along that genre.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
singular movies like all those like Euro Trip. Sex Drive.
Scotty doesn't know, sir.
Yeah, those types. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, no, they're all the same movie. The premise is the same, just the locations and the
knuckleheads trying to get laid.
Yeah,
yeah. What's the problem is now is that they see originally like a Porky's type movie or like these like ski school movies or whatever else, Summer Break, those kind of things. A lot of them didn't have this annoying redemptive third act that they now put in movies.
Oh yeah, no, they just ended.
It's like
they ended in debauchery.
Can you imagine? You know how many movies trip over that fucking like? Yeah. Oh, I realize I'm a piece of shit. I'll be a better person.
Yeah, no.
Or because like even Wedding Crashers is kind of more of an adult version of that, where it's just two guys trying to get laid all the time.
Yeah.
But or even worse is I've been chasing this chick or trying to get laid all over the place all the time when the perfect girl was right there all along. That's so annoying. Like even Teen Wolf's like that.
If 16,
remember Teen Wolf?
Yeah,
where he's chasing the fucking hot blonde the whole movie, and he gets her when he turns into a werewolf, and blah blah blah. But his best friend, the brunette, because it's always the brunette, and the blonde is the one, the desirable one, the brunette.
Yeah.
So so it's like. She was there all along. I just never saw you. The female Ducky, like in 16 Candles.
I was going to say, if 16 Candles was made in 2020,
Pretty in Pink was
Ducky would have won.
No, Pretty in Pink had Ducky.
Was it Pretty?
Yeah.
Pretty. I don't know. They're all the fucking same.
They're
like, all the same movie.
Whereas like I'm here, But in that one it was great because
everything she did outside of Breakfast Club was the same movie.
I mean, but that includes Breakfast Club, kind of. It was all teenage stuff.
Well, no. But I'm just saying, like Breakfast Club was one of those generational movies, so it had a lot of different stuff. But her movies outside of that Breakfast Club are all the same fucking movie. They're all the same movie. There's just different names and faces.
16 Candles.
Yeah. So
that's kind of a.
Well, all those movies.
It's
all those John Hughes movies are.
It's kind of like that, but in a. It's kind of along those. It has some of those themes in it. It's like Anthony Michael Hall's character is. Just a kid trying to get laid through the whole movie. And
like most of Adam Sandler's movies are like that too. Very formulaic.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the crazy offshoots. Some I will never have seen.
You got to watch Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah. That's still on the fucking list, man.
Dude. That movie.
You know what? That might be this weekend because we finished Justice League last night, so I need something to.
We got to talk about that later.
Oh yeah. No. I'm not even gonna skip over that atmosphere.
I skip every line.
Yeah.
But I have 2.5 pages of notes on that fucking
That's awesome.
So if anyone wants to hear me shit all over Zack Snyder's Justice League,
and this is gonna be great because I liked it.
Well, I mean, there's some good stuff in there, but yeah. So what's going on, dude?
Oh man, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about on the podcast.
Oh, on the podcast?
Yes.
Because all I have is an Anthony update.
What the fuck is with our boy AJ?
Oh, is that what you want to bring
up? What is going on? Did he lose his goddamn mind?
So Anthony, who is the most popular podcaster on this network, by the way, his downloads are like 3 to 2 on ours.
It is what it is.
Yeah. he's decided, to quote Rocky from Rocky Balboa, that there's still something in the basement. There's just some unresolved stuff he's got to get out.
One more match.
And so he said he's got one more match in him, and it's more, I think, when you're not happy with how you went out, when your last match that was supposed to be your last match shouldn't have been your last match, because either some or all of these things occurred. Terrible match, terrible opponent, terrible circumstances, like no one was there, and
I understand
a shitty environment. Those are, we usually just call most of our matches, but when it's your last match, you always want it to be special, so you can, because you think back, oh yeah, that was my last match. You want to go out on your own terms, which is doing something special. I guess he felt nothing about it was special. No offense to anyone involved with that. But so he, I don't know if he got drunk that day, but on the podcast, he not only said that he wanted to do one more match, which, just that, I think, deserves some ridicule and derision. I
mean, I understand where he's coming from. But
I'm nervous just talking about it now and looking at you. That you're starting a flashback to your last match.
I understand 100% where he's coming from.
What was your last match?
I wrestled nobody. I tripped up the stairway to wrestle nobody.
I was there.
We were there.
Because that wasn't supposed to be your last match.
No, it was not.
That was supposed to build up to a whole series of matches.
That was supposed to build up to a series of matches.
With our boy Drew.
Yeah. We set up nothing. You know how many times in my wrestling career I died a promotion by setting up something that never happened?
You died a promotion?
I've killed many promotions, sir.
Well, I was just interested in the way you use I died a promotion. Me good English. Me English good.
Well, I was raised in the Broward County school system, sir.
And
I didn't have much of a chance.
You are a product of Davey.
But no, I get him. I understand 100%. And flashes.
Wait. Let's go.
And it flashes through my mind.
Let's go back.
Let's
go back to your last match, because I think that's an important.
That's a good
little.
So our boy Mark, we love Mark.
Yes.
Found this brewery.
He was a wrestling promoter that
he was a wrestler as well.
That hated putting on shows.
He hated putting on shows, even though his shows were the most fun and most successful, and actually
well put together, most professional.
They were good shows.
He just hated dealing with the boys. They were such pains in the asses.
Well, because it's like an 80-20 rule in the wrestling business. 80% of the people in that locker room are fucking trash, and you just can't.
It's funny. It's like the opposite of the business world.
Yeah.
Where it's like a 90-10 rule. 10% of all your headaches come from 10% of your customers.
Yeah. I mean they're cancers, and in one way or the other, they always find a way to ruin a moment. Even the first Ronin show, we had a bit of a moment ruiner when fucking Solo Darling and fucking Girls Wanted More Money.
Was that in Ronin?
Yeah.
They did that too?
Yeah, they did in the first Ronin show.
I never heard that story. I saw it in action. I saw it at a what's that? What was the one Paul Jones did with the girls?
Oh, fucking I can't remember that fucking name of that promotion.
Because they ran them in tandem with Anthony's FOW shows.
Yeah.
Battling Beauty, what was it?
Battling Bombshells.
Bombshells or something?
Yeah.
Bombshell Wrestling or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw that in action where, there was some miscommunications, and I think maybe Rosa was in charge of booking the girls for Howard, and Paul and all that.
Idea.
And there might be a language barrier there, and et cetera, et cetera. And at the end of the night, I think Howard and Paul, or whoever the combination of people were that put that show together, felt like they got held up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the girls just felt like that they had told Rosa what they wanted, and Rosa had said CC and did relay that to the powers. I don't know, but it was basically what you're describing.
Yeah.
But I saw it in action back in the locker room at that thing. And when I say back in the locker room, I mean the kitchen.
Yeah.
Of that VFW hall or whatever it
Oh, it was one of my favorite places to get dressed because it was just like this is indie wrestling.
Getting dressed in a kitchen.
This is 100% what I think of when I think of indie wrestling is getting dressed in a kitchen for a building that holds
I think
fucking 150 people.
Is that the one in like Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand where he's coming from.
So, but let's go to. But I want to because this story is fun, and even if we've told it once.
Yeah. So, I was done. I had already wrestled Dave and Stevie,
Gangrel and
Gangrel and Steve Richards. And
which are pretty big names.
No. Listen,
I'm saying like you're going out
and
you're like closing upward.
And I think we can all agree it was a good match.
Right.
So I was comfortable. Like when I put my boots down, when I made the decision in the ring that I was over, when I was like, all right, this is it. And I did it with the boots. And I looked around. I was like, I was comfortable with that decision, and it took. That was 2016. So and it's taken like years for me to even like contemplate the idea of getting back in the ring. But what was a couple months later, Mark hit us up.
Yeah, that
he was going to do a show, and he wanted to build it around Drew and I. And we had this big idea to do this. Drew and I's feud, by the way.
You and Drew always wanted to do.
We always had this grand, fantastic plan
for like 2 years.
Dude, and it just nothing.
I think the biggest battle you two had was when you did the cosplay show, and you two fought it out as unrecognizable characters. He had a full head mask on. And you had face paint and like one of those domino masks on. So like you're like as far as like the YouTube, no one's gonna.
And we posted that right because we did the.
Yeah, no one's gonna watch that match and go and recognize you. Two,
yeah, refer back to the cosplay wrestling that we put up. The main events, Drew and I, and it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. We called the most ridiculous.
But
shit.
We
had a lot of fun, man. That was a fun match.
That was the closest you guys got.
No, we had a good match at the Armory.
I don't even remember. It's almost like
for Chris Charger. The main event was Sabu and Sandman.
Oh, I barely remember that show. That was a cage match, right?
Yeah.
That was a
They stole our finish, stole our table, they never used it.
They never used it. Told you couldn't do a table. Okay, so anyway. The funny part about this was that it's in Newport Richie. So that's like a 4.5 hour drive for us.
Yeah.
It's at this brewery.
Which is really nice, cool
brewery. These microbreweries. A lot of these places are really cool because it's like they got this building where they're making the beer. It's got all the plumbing and the big vats and everything, and it's open. Yeah. You see it all, and it's just kind of sectioned off, and the rest of the building is like retail space and like benches for sitting and drinking, and there's a big stage, and it's all inside, and a big open area. So there was like a stage to perform at, and you guys used that as like your entrance, and then the ring was just butted up against it, I think.
Yeah.
And so you walked. It was like your entrance was through a curtain, a few steps across stage, and then into the ring.
Yeah, and it was standing room only.
But it's cool. These breweries, yeah. It was like it's lit for events, and and then you've got all this outside, like a dozen park benches for like sitting and just
like
chilling,
giant games,
and
they had giant versions of games, like giant Connect 4, giant like tic tac toe.
But even
and
like
shit.
But even like those other games like a cornhole and all the like tailgating games,
shuffleboard and shit. It was really cool.
It's a really cool place, and I think Mark thought he was going to do a couple of shows a year there.
Yeah,
and then they were like, yeah, this was fun, but
they weren't
maybe next year. And he's like, well, this sucks because this start and stop stuff is no fun.
Yeah, and that was the stop.
So anyway, to get to the ring, from the back side of it, the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
If you've got the stage and you come through a curtain, that's the back of the stage. The other side of the curtain is basically just a series of stairs upwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to you, and then someone's like, "You're up now," and they start playing your music, and like literally, you go from talking to me to go jog up the steps, and go through the curtain, and you make it like 2/3 of the way up the stairs,
And I fucking trip.
and you like Biden.
Yep.
This week. You know, this is why I'm laughing at everyone making fun of the president stumbling on carpeted stairs. I wipe out on my carpeted stairs 1 out of every 10 times because the rounded corners at the end, if you don't get enough foot onto the actual stair, you'll slip off the rounded edge of the front of the stair, especially if it's carpeted. Those weren't carpeted. You just were not looking, paying attention, or
No,
you were being sloppy foot Magoo over there, and you just wiped out. Like you face planted. And like there's just enough room where you face planted without going through the curtain. And if you had, oh my God, I would have been so mad that no one had filmed it. I wish who would think to film you walking on the backside of walking through a curtain? But I regret not having footage of that till the end of days because it's this picture that lives in my mind. It might be like remember, did you ever see Fight Club?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. You never saw Porky's. I don't know.
I've seen Porky's. I was just like fucking like 14.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen it like once a year, you haven't seen Porky's.
The only movie I watch once a year is Transformers the movie, sir.
Okay. We might have to watch that.
I would love to.
So yeah, you just like there's this famous WWE entrance. Not WWE, WCW, right?
Yeah, WCW Goldberg, right?
No, not Goldberg.
Or Ultimate Dragon.
No, the Shockmaster entrance.
That's WWF.
Was that WWF?
That was WWF.
I thought, no, it's WCW.
No, he was WCW. That's right.
It was Arn Anderson.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, he was.
They're introducing like the fourth member of their group for this fight.
Yeah.
It was like a 4-on-4. Maybe it was Survivor Series. Maybe it was 5-on-5. And they announced it's like the Shockmaster. Now, first of all, it's this guy. His name's John Tenta. He's wrestled as other characters, way more successfully. Big, kind of fat guy, a little bit hairy. Yeah, one of those types, the burly bear man types. Yeah. For some reason, they thought to give him like, was it like a?
It was a stormtrooper helmet.
Well, hold on. It was like a furry cape.
Yes, it was.
It was like a cape, but it was like thick, like a fur jacket kind of cape.
It was like a fur jacket,
and it had and sleeveless thing with, some kind of spandex top. And then they thought it was this must have been like made that day, because how else do you not make something nicer? But he was wearing a helmet, and it was a stormtrooper helmet. But it wasn't just a stormtrooper helmet. The stormtrooper helmet that was
sparkly,
covered in silver glitter, like someone's covered the entire thing with silver glitter. It was the most random, bizarre thing. So he's supposed to break through like this drywall, and like smack, like the impactful, like he's breaking through a wall. Like this is to be feared. This strength and power and whatever. But, anyone can push through one sheet of drywall. But aside from that, someone had put, like, to have it so the wall's standing, they had a 2x4 on the bottom that goes across. Like, because you're building a wall there. He, like, goes through he starts smashing through the fucking drywall, trips on the 2x4, and just falls through the wall.
It's almost immediate too.
It's like it's literally if the way you stumbled and fell, as if you, instead of falling through the air onto the ground, you fell through drywall onto the ground. But this was live on national TV.
Yeah, and mine was behind a curtain of a really small.
You had a very private Shockmaster moment.
You were the only one. It was private to you. It's my gift.
Dangerously close to being a public Shockmaster moment.
Which no one would have cared. I wouldn't have cared. I didn't care. I was laughing.
Listen, if you had gone through that curtain like that, I think you would have Master somewhere in your name, like in your nickname, like Sean, like because your gimmick name is Sean Prime, maybe Sean Master or Prime Master or
Sean Prime Master. I sound like a fucking Mad Max character.
Yeah. So Master Blaster runs Border Town.
Oh man, yeah, and then my opponent didn't show, so he's like, "Well, you're just gonna go out there, get the 10 count, and then cut a promo." And I'm like, "Why did I bother putting my fucking boots on?"
Well, but you were gonna later after Drew won his match.
But I would have done that in street clothes.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, man, it's just one of those things where afterwards, I think
the beauty is that like maybe you, I don't know what kind of shape you were in for that. Like proposed match.
Actually, I got in pretty decent shape.
But the irony was you didn't have to.
Yeah, no.
You could have waited till the next match.
Yeah,
quote unquote, that never happened because all you were doing was running out and beating up Drew.
But I was supposed to work. I was supposed to work, and I was excited to have like just a basic like 80-20, 90-10 match. Mm-hmm. Like I was excited to do that. I was gonna have fun with it. It was a fucking some green kid I was gonna work, and I was like, I'll make him look good, and we'll have a good, fun little like 5-minute thing. And
for people that don't know, green means like a rookie.
Yeah. He was still training, and I was like, oh, you know, fuck it, man. Like I'm doing this for fun at this point, so let's have fun, you know.
Yeah.
And instead,
greenhorn. I always forgot what that meant.
Speaking of greenhorn,
yeah,
AJ. What is he thinking?
Right. Like I said, Rocky stuff in the basement.
No.
Whatever. One last match.
I don't give a fuck about
But
that.
then he got like.
Why did he call out Billy Fives?
He got like high on his own fucking. like talk about not thinking before you speak. And he was getting high on his own like momentum there, talking about wanting another match, and then decided that who could. Because if you want one more match, you're planning that's your one more match. Usually you either want to work if you're like in the business and like are drawing money for people and the promoter's happy and you're like, listen, I want one more match and I'm retiring. Can you maybe find somebody, you know, that they may pay for that would be like kind of like a bucket list thing. Like I've always wanted to work this guy or whatever. Even if they're a name and it would cost a little more, maybe the promoter would do that, you know, if you had a good relationship. Or you want to go back through your catalog of friendships and relationships and business relationships there and pick the guy that you think you would have the best match with. And I think he just, you know, I don't know. Did he think, well, Billy brought me into the business, Billy will take me out of it or what? But
it's
baffling. Billy beat the shit out of him so many times. It should never have been the first thought that crossed his mind, but apparently it was. So here's the thing. I know you don't listen.
I don't.
On Wednesday's Furlough Files, he says it. So of course, I'm not going to let that not be unheard by Billy. Yeah. So I think someone tagged him in it when we posted on Facebook, like the link to the podcast. And he was like, okay, well, now I guess I got to listen to this one. Because anytime he's aware that he's been mentioned in a podcast, he listens to. Other than that, he's not going to listen. Even though I think the podcast we had where we told the story about where we nearly killed him with the Packy Chips challenge is one of the funniest podcasts. We're just hysterically laughing about talking about him choking and burning his eye and farting at the same time. It's a phenomenal story. The time we almost killed Billy Fives or whatever it's called. Go look for it. But he mentions he's gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
And then radio silence since then, which is really suspect, especially since the next episode Anthony did on Friday, he tried to totally back out of this thing. Like he was tap dancing. He realized what a mistake he'd made.
I was going to say, I love Billy Fives. If I was going to come back for one more match, he is the last person. I'm not... No.
Because it might be here's the thing. It might be a great match, but only because there's a murder taking place.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, it's almost like one of those endurance battles where it's how much can you take? It's last man standing, but you're the only man that's in question. You know,
fighting back is futile.
And so And you don't know what's gonna piss him off, so you gotta like, if you piss him off in the ring, that's it. It's what you thought was a hard kick becomes a hard kick.
So I haven't worked in years. Oh, I'm gonna get in a ring with somebody that if I start fucking up spots because I'm just rusty, he's gonna beat the piss out of me.
And Anthony's crossed the 40 barrier.
And let's be honest, the last couple of years of his wrestling, in quotations here, was him getting in a ring, eating pizza or whatever various food.
He had a gimmick where he'd walk around with donuts.
Take one bump and go home. This is going to be real work.
His 15-minute match was 10 minutes of walking around the ring, fucking with people and having fun. Yeah. And then 5 minutes, and usually it was a tag match, so that meant he did 1.5 to 2 minutes of the work. I mean, and like bumping, he didn't bump. So working with Billy, not only is his body, not only can you not get your body ready for that.
No, there's no way.
Off the schedule he had the last couple of years, and now the off schedule, and now the 60 extra pounds he's put on that he's trying to take off in our weight loss competition, our annual weight loss competition, because we over the next we lose the weight then gain it back. Yeah.
We had that. Yeah, we can look back into that podcast.
So, so he's like, I said it to him on that one. It's like, you've seen The Godfather, right?
Yeah.
You've seen The Godfather too, right?
Yeah.
Remember when the lady tells Corleone, the young De Niro one, I can't, my landlord's up my ass and I can't afford to pay the rent and blah, blah, blah. And he calls the landlord in. The landlord has no idea who he is. And he asks for him to lower the rent for her. And he kind of laughs in his face and gets a little aggressive and leaves. And then a day or two later comes back. He asked around who Corleone was. And he's like, oh, what a mistake. Oh, my God. And he's stammering and tripping over himself to make this right because he's realized he done fucked up. He done fucked up. I think that was AJ on that podcast.
Yeah.
He was panicky. He was panicky on that podcast, trying to get out of it. I'm like, you challenged him. It went
publicly.
It went on the air, and as far as we can tell, he heard it because he said he was going to listen to it. Now, the funny thing was when he said he was going to listen to it, that was St. Patrick's Day. And he said he'd listen to it on the drive between Irish bars because he went drinking and did the loop.
Of course.
And he literally said that comment was the comment was at 2:30 in the afternoon, and he was already leaving one bar to go to another or something like that. So he was getting an early start. So I don't know if he was already in a state that he'd get triggered more, an alcoholic kind of triggered state or whatever. But we didn't hear from him after he said he was going to listen to it. And usually he listens to it, then comments.
Yeah.
We tag him in this next one where he's trying to get out of it. Nothing. Not even I'll listen to it. Nothing. And I'm like twice a day. I'm like, Anthony, you heard from him? Because I'm needling him now. Because I know something's gone fucking pear-shaped here. Something's squirrely. Because Billy always I've never not tagged. I've never tagged Billy in something where I haven't he hasn't either reacted with one of those smiley faces or thumbs up or whatever or commented. He almost always comments. So this is legit concerning. Yeah. Because it's he saw it. He had to have seen me tag him in it. He knows that podcast is out there. We've talked about him in 2 podcasts. And he hasn't commented or that's serious. When someone's mad, but they're not really mad, they get vocal and they're but when they're really mad and they get quiet.
I know the feeling well.
I feel for some reason, I feel maybe he got insulted instead of honored by this and is stewing. I've never seen, not that I've spent that much time around Billy, but I've never seen this behavior.
There's no way AJ shows up to a match with Billy Fives without making sure he's not gonna die.
Well, I feel
stay in Atlanta.
I feel this would be. I don't think he can escape him. I think
I don't know.
I think if he tried to avoid him now, he would just show up in Atlanta and beat his ass in his front yard. This
God
is
damn it.
This was
might.
You know, and you know.
Yeah, no, I know Billy. Yeah. Oh man.
So I feel this is gonna be one of those first indie shows where really they need to have someone with medical training.
So I'll throw this out there.
Like on premises.
I'll throw this out there. I will, with good grace, if AJ feels more comfortable, I'll be the special guest referee of this contest, the suspected contest between the two, just to keep right before I think the death blow is about to occur, I'll just dive like a human shield.
Were you jumping on the
the
grenade?
Yeah. I'll take the death blow for AJ and
like you're like that much more resilient these days.
I could take one shot maybe.
You're pretty jangly inside. Your bones and joints are.
Nah, man. I mean my knees suck occasionally because 15 years of that shit. But I could still go out there. I'm just not having any fucking plan whatsoever to do so. There's no reason to do so.
That was Anthony until it wasn't, and that's you until it isn't. I know it. I know these things.
There's no current opportunity.
Listen, my roommate's doing really well. I told him, I said, if in 2 years you're my money mark, I'm gonna put a show on. I might put a show on just to see, just to
spite me.
What would happen if people like you and Anthony got back in the ring?
Oh my god.
What would happen?
Oh my god.
You could finally have your match with Drew, who's like I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram.
Drew's a fucking animal.
He's chiseled out of granite.
Yeah,
240 pounds.
He probably can't bump. He'd go through the ring.
Yeah.
He's so dense now.
He really is.
Like our boy Drew's a fucking full-on professional bodybuilder. Yeah. We wouldn't have to worry about looks at that point because I ain't looking like that, buddy.
I just want to do the what would happen.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what'll happen. You'll get your moment, and then for 2 weeks I'll be fucking paying for that moment. Oh shit. Oh man, AJ's gonna die.
Yeah,
AJ's gonna die. AJ, what have you done? Oh man, I can't wait.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can't take it back. You went public.
I mean, I guess Billy would be like, "Oh, I'll make a spot on Dave's show."
Maybe. I mean, it could be. Listen, there's plenty of places down here, or they could do it up there. I don't know.
Blake was saying something about CCCW still fucking around.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I
didn't know that.
My Tony, the Tony that I worked with in West Palm Beach, who I'd still be working with if it wasn't in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
He invited me to their show this weekend.
Oh.
Here, this is a funny story. He's in that kickball stuff.
Yeah.
Tony. And you remember Headbanger?
Yeah.
Mosh Chaz?
Yeah.
He's a big kickballer. He's on Tony's team.
Of course he is.
So they're going to see the Headbangers are wrestling at CCW this weekend.
Oh.
So they were there's a big kickball group going, and Tony asked me to if I wanted to go. I was like, normally I would, but I actually have something planned.
No.
I don't. I just don't want to go to a shit show. I'd go, especially where it is. It's not like close. If it was close, I'd do it. But
there's a part of me that wants to go to a random indie show and just kind of like experience it. Just as
if you could, I know you. I know you. You're like you just don't want to. You wouldn't even mind the occasional fan that would notice you. You don't want to see the boys.
And I don't.
See, most guys go to see the boys.
No,
They don't want to see the wrestling show. They don't want to deal with like the people. They want to go and just sit in the back and hang out with the boys and catch up on old times. Yeah. You want nothing to do with any of that.
No, I really don't.
It's so funny.
It's the weird thing is like if I knew I could just go out there and work a match against whoever I wanted to work a match against, and I could just go out there, we could just go out, do the match, and I wouldn't have to interact with the locker room.
Could we arrange where like we're down the street in a car?
We did that a few times.
We get the call so that when I drive through, you jump out of the car, you run into the ring, you beat up the guy, and then I'm sitting there with the car idling. And when you win, they raise your hand, you run out of the ring, straight out the back door into the car, and we drive off. Would that work for you? Maybe grabbing your pay envelope on the way out. Like he's standing there by the exit, the emergency exit door, the fire exit door, with the envelope in his hand, and you snatch it out of his hand as you go out. Would that work for you? That would work for you.
It would.
That would probably be that would be a funny gimmick.
It would be great. it would check off all the boxes, man. I get to perform again, and I don't have to talk to nobody. That's fantastic. I win.
Yeah.
Everyone wins. They win. The fans win. Everybody gets to win in that scenario. I'm all about that. Let's make that happen. But I need about a calendar year. Because it's gonna take a little while to get the motor going again.
I'm always for driving the getaway car. That sounds like it would be fun.
Oh man, some of those fucking like the fucking Ronin run-in and shit. Oh, those were good times. Those are the best moments because you're like, oh, everybody has to sell for me. This is amazing. I
don't even remember that one. Were you hiding from the locker room?
No, I was in the locker room.
Okay.
That was the show that Bruce was reintroduced.
Right.
Broke his sobriety.
Right.
Yeah.
The show that broke Bruce's
I want you to know, Barrington Hughes, you were so shitty. And I'm an alcoholic again.
We should get him on.
It's one of the best things I've ever heard live.
Because
Bruce?
Not only does Bruce have 1,001 stories, but he's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
He's a good talker.
Yeah. And he's fucking entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
We love Bruce Santee on this podcast.
He's in person. He's a little dangerous. He's a little bit of a train wreck, or can be.
He's just the right amount these days, I think.
I think so. It's a controlled It's like a controlled explosion.
Yeah.
You know, in a like a prepared environment. I remember. Did I tell you this story about him harassing Rob Naylor? In Orlando?
No, but I hate Rob Naylor, so this is going to be good.
Okay. I don't have anything against Rob Naylor. I met him at one of these Ronin shows. I went up and just because I think whoever he was broadcasting with I knew.
Yeah.
And Eric was running the board and the cameras and stuff. So I went over to that group and was said hi to Eric and Daniela. And I think Beaver was there, so I just gave him the fucking, I don't like him, but when you're shaking the guy next to him, someone's hand and you know that person, even though you don't want to shake it, it's you got to work. It's a courtesy. You got to go down the line now.
Yeah.
So I said I am, and then I saw Rob Naylor. I said, hey, and I just introduced myself because, oh, you're the Ben Temples. And I'm I guess. I mean, first of all, there's only other Ben Temples I know. I looked up on Facebook. It's funny. I think either he reached out to me or I reached out to him. And after about 2 minutes, we sussed out we may be related because both of our trees come through Georgia, our family trees. So, anyways, he's like, "You're the Ben Temples," and I'm like, "I guess." I go, "How does that come about that you even know who I am?" And he's like, "Oh, I used to be roommates with Solo Darling, who we've already brought up on this podcast, so we're kind of full circling there." And so, she's done shows with us, the cosplay stuff. So I guess, I was one of those promoters that happily paid whatever they were expecting. And we'd have a thing at the end of the night. So I guess I had good reviews. So anyway, so I knew Rob. And so I saw him a couple of times at these shows and, just friendly handshakes and an exchange of friend requests on Facebook. That was it. I feel bad for this because I didn't even know what to do. But when you're around Bruce Santee, there's not a lot you can do. We were at this place drinking in Orlando the Sunday of WrestleMania. That was up there. So all the boys are in town and I forget who else was there drinking at a different table, but Bruce was making fun of all of them. It was a table with 2 wrestlers and a bunch of their friends. He was because everyone's tiny to Bruce.
Yeah, it's true. Was he 6'6"?
So we're he's who are those people over there? And Jackie knew who they were. He told him, he's that's so and so, and he's so loud, just naturally that they can hear, and they're trying not to hear, and then he's fucking running them down a little bit. It's great. So anyway, we're at this it's one of those circular bar kind of things, those big ovals, and part of it's like part of the seating is kind of technically outside. It's like the actual edge of the building kind of deal. And so we're sitting there. It's like Jackie and Jensen, me, Bruce. I don't remember if Jessica was there or not. She must have been, because I don't think Jackie went anywhere that weekend without a full-time handler and
escort
holder of the money and phone and responsibilities. That was where I randomly bumped into Jude. But we're sitting directly across from us. So across the bar, which is like, the gap where the bartenders walk, then the island with all the booze on it, and then the other gap, and then the seating is Rob Naylor sitting there drinking. I don't know if he was with people or not. I don't think he was. Bruce sees him, realizes who he is or is told who he is, and starts for 10 or 15 minutes on and off shouting out across the bar to Rob Naylor, calling him out by name and letting him know what a twink he is. And Rob Naylor on a good day is 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing,
He's a fucking lawn dart. Bruce.
And it's so entertaining.
Oh my God.
Yet so cringy and embarrassing, because I'm I know this guy. We've been kind of friendly. Now I'm fucked because I'm sitting next to Bruce.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of trying not to laugh, but I'm also not trying not to stop Bruce from doing it. So I'm not standing up for him. So I'm pretty sure Rob, I think we're still friends on Facebook, but I don't think if we ran into each other, it would be a happy to see each other moment.
Yeah.
Unless it was one of those phony wrestling things, which everyone's
brother, how you doing?
Everyone's happy to shake your hand for the 2 required seconds.
Yeah.
But Bruce,
great seeing you.
Bruce must have called him a twink over a span of 10 to 15 minutes.
That's fantastic.
At least 30 times. At least 30 times. I think at one point Rob kind of moseyed over to talk to Bruce, trying to baby face him.
Trying to get him to stop.
Yeah, and then Bruce was kind of friendly to him, but at the end would every 10 sentence would end it. But you're still a twink, Naylor. And I'm oh my God.
Oh, Bruce.
And I bet he thought he was he was funny. It was funny as shit, even though it was bullying and don't bully. But Naylor's a big boy that's in the wrestling business and can handle himself.
We'd hope so.
And he did. He didn't. Yeah. He didn't leave.
Yeah.
This guy ran me out of the bar. He didn't pretend he didn't hear him. He eventually even came up and talked to him.
Yeah.
So listen.
Yeah.
When the guy's twice your height and 3 times your width,
there's nothing you can do.
No, but he went up and talked to him. That's just he had sack, So it's not he, it's the opposite of twink, I feel.
Do you know what I just realized, Ben?
What?
That I can see the recording on the TV behind you.
Yeah, I've got this thing running
for 53 minutes.
Oh, so you're clock watching?
I'm not clock watching. Were you telling the story, and I look over. I
didn't tell this story for 53 minutes.
No. I look over halfway through the story, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got the fucking thing on the TV. I can totally see everything, the recording and everything. And for 53 minutes, never paid fucking attention to it. Just didn't even know it was there.
Which is weird because it's
literally within eyesight.
It's not a dead screen.
Nope.
It's not a still image.
Nope.
It's stuff moving on the screen.
Yep. And I totally didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah. How much did you smoke this week?
Apparently, just enough. Just enough. So, I have a new favorite thing that I do. I have a weekly Wawa. They've got this barbecue beef brisket. Bro.
See, I can't have barbecue sauce.
So good.
It's too sweet.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
It's so good, man. I got turned on to their smoothies. They make pretty good smoothies. There's a wall right down.
See, what's annoying is you start talking about drinking smoothies and eating barbecue
What?
beef sandwiches.
Well, I can eat healthier.
And I immediately healthier. That's healthier.
It is. Well, it's healthier.
It's like loaded with sugars and calories.
Fantastic.
And I literally, as you're saying, I sized you up, and I'm so angry because you're not like.
Oh no!
You're not super fat.
Nope.
From all of this.
Nope.
Which I would be.
Nope.
What the fuck, man?
I don't know. The tapeworm is well fed, sir.
And your wife's pregnant. No, like sympathy, weight gain. No, nothing with you, man. It's so annoying. Me and Anthony are like struggling, like in this week 1 of the diet. It's more shit talking than it's more talking the talk than walking the walk right now. We're struggling.
And it's funny because like I spent this week, I was like, you know what? Let me passively like start, because I have wanted to get in better shape. So I'm like, I'll do a couple sets of push-ups today, tomorrow, see how I feel. Bro, I got to like 20 push-ups and I just rolled over on my back in my garage and went, what are you doing, Salvino? Stop. And I just like sat up and I'm like, just work on your plane. That was that.
Wait, why? Because you were bored or you got gassed or what?
Because
you just were.
I just realized like, oh my God, like the first 2 weeks is torturous. And if you can get through that barrier, it's
right. It's like breaking the seal. It's like, yeah.
You really have to have a desire. And I just guess I don't. I guess I just don't really care that much about fucking. I don't know. I want to.
Yeah, but your pants still fit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's true.
I had that problem this week.
Oh.
Because I've been working. I've been alternately employed, and so.
But we got a gym right down the street.
I know. I know.
It's free.
But yeah, as you see, I wear a lot of these shorts, and they all have elastic bands, and I thought I was fine. I thought everything still fits.
You're getting a Bobby Rogers.
I tried to put some jeans on to go with my brother to the sushi buffet.
No bueno.
It was a message.
If they fit on the way there, they weren't fitting on the way back.
I was like, I don't know how I'm getting these clothes. They're the ones I like worked in.
Yeah.
You know, and those I fluctuated, but I always fit in them.
Yeah.
They were either loose or they fit.
You ever
normally.
thought about maybe just starving yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I'm doing like 1 day of eating, 1 day not eating kind of thing. And then maybe 2 days not eating and 1 day eating. And then maybe 3 days not eating until something comes off of me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what?
It's not only the not eating. I'm not even active, man. I'm like, I basically do research all day. So I'm sitting on a computer. So there's I'm not even moving. I'm not even like burning anything. The most calories I burn is breathing.
I don't know. I had all this.
Oh, I see what you pulled up there.
I did. And I don't want to miss it this
I'm
week.
very happy that you remember this segment because it's always fun, but I always forget it.
It's the weekly. How is Baby Prime doing? How big has Baby Prime gotten since
random object
of the week?
So it could be a baby or it could be this.
Yeah, it could be this thing. They're comparable sizes according to this app. And we're at 19 weeks, people. It's
could be a baby or it could be a stapler that she's going to deliver. Right.
Well, let's see. Right now, my baby is as big as a mango.
Mango, fuck yourself.
Yeah, mango. Big. I legitimately, this is the first time I'm seeing these.
By the way, mango, that joke I just did,
yeah.
that you kind of skated over, which is a funny joke, and I'm a little annoyed you didn't laugh harder at it.
Joke.
Like 2 or 3 years in a row, I would post pictures from my dad's mango tree when it was mango season.
Yeah.
I would post them, and every year Shane Helms would comment, "Man, go fuck yourself." Every year.
Boy, Hurricane. He gets his spots in the Rumble every year.
He's a funny guy.
Your baby's as big as a Viewmaster.
That's an odd. Yeah.
That's a really odd throw.
But that is about the size of a mango.
Yeah.
Okay, they're at least they're not just randomly grabbing stuff.
Or in our movie and TV props, your baby's as big as an alien in the claw machine from Toy Story.
Were those that big? I didn't.
I guess so,
that.
man. I guess so.
I thought they were small, like
I would think
like 3-inch tall kind of deals.
The bigger, like 3-4 inch, yeah. But no, apparently
That's more like a 5-incher.
That's it's probably the
bigger than what I got.
It's the Brock Lesnar version of the little aliens. And he's just the guy in the back. You can see his head clearly over everybody else. So that my baby's doing great, and we started.
She already resents you.
No, not yet.
Your daughter already resents you.
No. That'll come after birth. We started shopping around, asking around. Man, it's so hard to like shop for baby shit because like there's just a lot, and it's something that you give zero consideration towards until you have to give consideration towards it.
Even if I had a child coming, I would still have zero interest in it and zero patience for it.
Ben's child's gonna get born. Ben's gonna give him $20. Tell him to get a job and have fun.
Yeah, well,
I'll call you on your birthday.
I'm realistic, but
I'm gonna go get some cigarettes. Nah, man, I'm just running around and like.
I saw when I walked over and visited you in your garage.
Oh, the baby walker.
There was some baby thing.
Yeah,
baby apparatus.
My brother bought that over. Him and his wife came over and gave us some clothes and that kind of stuff.
I don't remember if it had Disney stuff on it or not.
Yeah, a little Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, my baby's gonna cost me a lot of money. She's gonna cost me a lot of Disney money, so I'm just preparing for that. That's why I need a better job.
Can I give you a bit of advice?
Absolutely.
Your kid isn't gonna remember or appreciate Disney or anything with Disney on it if you were gonna spend more to have a Mickey Mouse on it for fucking years.
Oh, no. We had this conversation the other day, her and I basically told him, like, listen, I don't want to be
remember or appreciate it. They don't get it.
I almost don't want to bring her until almost 2 years old.
They won't remember that.
I know, man, but
I understand that you want to go.
Yeah,
and she wants to go.
But I told her absolutely
but
not.
You can't go.
Absolutely not within the first year. Dude, we see people bringing fucking infants into fucking Disney when we go, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why would you do this? Like, why would you do this to yourself? It's self-harm, man.
Yeah, it's
because you're getting zero enjoyment.
You're literally, you're making yourself miserable.
Yeah, you on purpose, and you're paying for it. Good money.
Yeah, save that money.
Just punch yourself in the
dick.
All
that Disney shit will be there in 3 years. But I'm saying, like, even at 2, they're not going to remember it.
Well, I told her, like, if it's like 18 months, 2 years, we can take her because at least at that point, like.
Well, one thing, you don't have to fly.
Yeah.
So that crosses a major fucking headache.
Oh, I know. We would never
taking a baby on a plane.
There's absolutely no way to take that baby on a fucking plane unless, like, I don't know, Florida's sinking. We have to, okay? And even then, I'm like, it's only like a 6-hour drive out of here. We're good.
or a boat.
We got plenty of those.
Plenty of boats here. But I mean, you know, I understand you want to go to Disney. Yeah. So you're just trying to figure out the age where the kid will cooperate enough, not thinking like, oh, we don't have to go to the kid will enjoy it and appreciate it.
Now 3 years,
this is for you. Yeah. Let's clarify things. You know.
Yeah. I would go once early for us and just go for like a day or so, half a day or whatever.
A kid would be more excited about the hotel room than fucking Disney.
I wouldn't go spend money, like bigger money to go until she's at least 3 or 4. Because even if the memories are you know, even if like later on in life she can still kind of but not so much remember it, at least like a little like a 3 or 4 year old really enjoys that experience and they'll get the most out of it. Whereas opposed to like no fucking you know infant gives a living fuck that they're at Disney World.
They just don't remember anything. Do you remember anything from when you were 2 years old?
Fuck no.
There you go.
Fuck no.
That's making noise.
Oh, is it? Okay. Sorry. My ADD.
You get that fidget thing. I
do. I really do. I used to have one of those when the fidget. No, not the fidget spinners because those were annoying. But they had like the little cube that had like all
like little things to spin and.
Dude, I love that thing, man. That thing was fucking awesome.
Well, they still make them. I'll buy you one for next week.
Well, an official Breakfast Club fidget.
Oh, well, yeah. Hold on. I'll tell you that off the air. Because I don't know.
Is this the time of the podcast that we need to push our merch and to like and share, subscribe?
I mean, if we're wrapping up, I think we should. We should do it in the beginning when people are listening.
We never do it in the beginning when people are listening.
Yeah, we have... You're too late for the sale.
This is the after credits scene.
You missed the sale.
You missed the 14% sale.
But we mentioned that last week, so it's on you.
We did.
But we still have hats, tank tops, hoodies, and hats.
You said hats twice.
No.
You did say hats
shirts.
twice. No, you said hats and shirts.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
I just want to reiterate we have hats.
Okay. In case anyone's wondering.
For sale, they have our Breakfast Club logos on them. The original one, and we have a Japanese logo, which is actually looks nicer, but it's Japanese, so you can't read it. And
you're wearing it now, actually.
I am, but this is an audio podcast, so
we're working on video.
Ironically, the hat is here too.
Oh, it is.
So go to brizzcliz.com, which is our website. Links to that are also in the descriptions of wherever you're listening to these things. And on social media. All our social media links are also in those things, and you should give everything a follow, a like, a subscribe, et cetera, or a thumbs down. I don't give a shit as long as there's some feedback. I think we like it. Suggestions are sometimes appreciated, but
look at you.
Rarely.
We rarely like it. We're gonna do our own thing. Because we don't even know what we're doing half the time. No. It's great.
Well, this is the Winging It podcast, and I may rename it Winging It because I don't think we ever come in here prepared or it's not thematically inclined.
Yeah, this is if you're bored and you need just to listen to two voices, just try to navigate an hour's worth of fucking conversation. Yeah. This is the podcast for you.
Sometimes we'll talk about something you might be interested in.
I think
most of the times probably not.
I think we're building a really good narrative of the journey of AJ Genazzo.
Oh, this is definitely the thread.
Yeah, this is like the As You Go documentary series.
I almost want to call him
now
to agitate him a little bit, but I feel like that window's passed.
Yeah,
since
I might jump in on a Furlough Files podcast, so we can do that.
Yeah, we can needle him.
Yeah,
because I think the more we poke this, I love that his anxiety level. Like he was saying, he was feeling nauseous about this already when we were talking about it.
You called the man out in public.
Well, he didn't call him out. He said he wanted him to be his last match. He didn't say like, "I want you, sucker." You know, I'm coming for you, Fives.
But he knew who he was talking to.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what Fives heard.
Yeah,
that's what Billy heard. So
it's like going to a bear cave and slapping his hibernating bear with a baseball bat, and then when it wakes up and mauls you, you're like, "What happened?"
I'm so surprised. This was not the desired
outcome.
Reaction. Well, it should have been.
All right, buddy. Let's get out of here and start talking about Justice League.
Yeah, we're gonna go do our other podcasts. We shouldn't tell people we do them like back to back. That makes it sound like we're.
I think everybody realizes that we're grown men who have like busy things to do with our day, and we set aside a day to function.
Speak for yourself.
To block time.
Speak for yourself, you dirty son of a bitch.
Okay, bye.